Before we start today's episode, I want to give a few words to one of our sponsors, which is Stutterbox Productions. If you're looking for a solid team of people to get you started with your next gig or event, this is the company to contact. They're actually bringing back Field Trip in September 16th and 17th, and they have plenty more shows lined up. If you guys have not been to Field Trip, that is a blast. Legendary. One of the top shows to go to in Iowa. So what are you waiting for? Head over to Stutterbox Productions' Facebook page for all of your needs today. Guerrilla Graphics Design Agency. If you want to plan your next video or project, Guerrilla Graphics Design Agency can provide you with a clean and fresh looking product. Having personally collaborated with this company several times myself, I can say from experience they know their shit, and working with them has been worth every penny. Head over to GuerrillaGraphics.com for all of your design needs today. That's GuerrillaGraphics.com. Hello, what's up everybody? This is the CalStars podcast. Back after 4th of July break. Didn't really announce it. Kind of just took a break. But whatever. We're here. We're back with Loco Buki.
Yo!
How the fuck you doing today, man?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired, man.
Yeah, we're both busy people, as we've been discovering, as we've been trying to desperately schedule this.
For like, I feel like a couple months, maybe.
Yeah. I'll just say off the bat, you know, I watched you live for the first time. I think it was at the Doozy birthday bash. Mm-hmm. And your performance was just like, you had I could just tell your energy was like up to the point where you like took the school desk and just like jumped off it. I was like, yes, that's fucking great. That's the kind of shit we need to see a fucking performance, man.
Yeah, man, I'm all energy.
Yeah, I'm curious because like you were saying before this, like you're kind of an anxious guy, which I am too. Mm-hmm. Like how do you approach your shows and like performing live? Is that something that's an issue for you when you're doing that?
So performing live actually makes me extremely anxious. But how I think about it is anxiousness and excitement, they almost feel exactly the same. So when I go on stage, I tell myself like, you're gonna kill this, like you're excited as fuck to be here, even though really I'm like scared, I'm nervous as fuck. I'm gonna bomb this, but I take like that anxiousness and try to convert it essentially into excitement.
Good energy,
and jump around. I almost feel like I'm by myself even on stage. Just I'm at home and I'm in the mirror. I'm just doing my thing.
Fuck yeah. I do think like like anxiousness can be used as a fuel. Like I've discovered that in podcasting. Like it almost kind of like, or like when you're like at work or something, it almost kind of like it's shitty the whole, you know, when you're experiencing it, but like it really does kind of get you through the day. You know, in a sense, like you can imagine the, you know, opposite, like just being like sluggish and slow or whatever, and like just like, you know, and that would be enjoyable, but like you might not get as much done if you're not going through like that anxious
also
spin, you know.
For myself, if you're in a comfortable position, you're not going to advance at all. I
agree.
You're stuck in one spot. And you're just staying there because that's what you believe in and that's what makes you feel safe. But if you never step out of that area and make yourself uncomfortable, like how are you going to expand or how are you going to learn anything more? Because there's always more out there.
Yeah. Well, not even like expanding. Like if you just stay in that point where you're not growing at all, like you're going to deteriorate. Like, you know, your body and your mind are going to become like its own enemies. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously there are people that, you know, not everyone can rise to the top. Not everyone can be Elon Musk, the Bill Gates of our world. You know what I mean? But you know, I think everyone in some capacity, whether even if it's like just a day job or whatever, or like a relationship, like there's always a path forward. There's always like a thing that can be met, a goal that can be met, you know. And in order to get to that goal, you have to go through discomfort and pain.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. How many times have you performed? Like how many times have you been around the bend?
Well, actually, before I get to that, because I have to kind of think about it. My first time performing was last year in November.
Okay.
So I really haven't even been performing that long.
Sure.
A big shout out to Gabe Cox and Lauren.
Yeah, Dirt Lord. Yeah, Dirt Lord Lolo.
Lolo
Fuck
Savage and Dirt
veterans,
Lloyd.
Veterans of the show at this
They
point.
put me on my first show, and we've been making moves since then. So big shout out. I don't know which
Hell
one
yeah.
to look
Hell
at.
yeah.
But big shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
But since then, I've probably done at least 25 shows. At least, yeah.
Damn. That's
like not like me also not me being like the like even invited, but I do songs with other people and stuff. So I feel like I really got to experiment a little bit, but I feel like I found like my stage presence pretty early. Like by like my fourth show, I was like, okay, like I can do this shit. I can do this shit. Like the first time, I was nervous too. Like I'm nervous every time. Like even coming here, I was like a little nervous, but
sorry, keep going. I got it.
Gotta get it done. Gotta do it.
What were you saying?
Like
I realized that like just now. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm that drunk already. I fucking didn't even notice the fan. Sorry, man. Continue.
Even my first time performing, I was like extremely nervous, but I tried to be hype, but I feel like it wasn't really there. Even coming here, I was just nervous. It was like, hey, that's like first time being on podcast. Shout out.
Yeah, McAllister Hours popping your cherry. I love it, man. I love it.
But oh dang, I lost my train of thought. Completely lost my train of thought.
Yeah, that happens here a lot. That's a normal thing that happens here in the McAllister Hours podcast. So how long you been like rapping and doing your thing here?
Like officially rapping, I'd say since 2015.
Okay.
It's like when I put out my first track. But I've been like producing beats since I was like in like 3rd or 4th grade, because my uncle used to make beats and he would always have like a little, I don't know what they're even really, like a drum pad, like an electronic drum pad that's standalone. You don't need a computer or anything. And he'd make beats and I always think it was cool. And they're pretty expensive. Well, that's what he would say, what I mean? He might not have been. He might just not want. He might probably didn't want me fucking
like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. But then finally he got me one, and I was just making beats, cooking up beats for a while. Like every song I've ever dropped, even since 2015, I made the beat to, recorded myself, mixed it, and mastered it.
Yeah. And
so I was just making beats, and then freaking Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Little Pump. Gucci Gang.
Yeah, Gucci Gang. I'm not really super familiar in the SoundCloud scene, but I know Lil Pump. I'm familiar.
That came out, and then he was literally just saying Gucci Gang the whole time, and it has like 50 million views. So I'm like, yeah. I was just making beats for fun. I wasn't like dropping them or anything, or even like giving them to nobody. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start hopping on these beats because you could say whatever you want, and there's a crowd out there for it. So it's like, might as well. Yeah. Even though I don't like how my voice sounds, but it's like I enjoy listening to my music after I make it, but while I'm making it, I'm just like, oh, yeah, like you're sounding so off right now.
Yeah, I feel that. Hey, we're gonna take a real quick break here. We have technical difficulties. All right, everybody, we're back. McAllister Hours, as always, having problems. This is a never-ending curse of the show. We'll be at fucking Joe Rogan level, and we'll still be having crazy shit happen, like fucking lights sparkling, killing our guests, like having, you can't imagine if like in the middle of the episode that just like came down and killed you,
man,
on a live stream. I'd be like,
I couldn't imagine it because I'd be dead.
Yeah.
I just laid out in McAllister Hour.
Do you believe in an afterlife?
That's a good question. That's a good fucking question. I would say no, but yes.
Explain.
Because mentally, we just don't have the capacity to think or know what's going to happen after we die, just because we're dead and our brain's not going anymore. But at the same time, not being able to know that there could be something, but I don't really think there is. But I don't like to eliminate the possibility of that, because sure. I grew up like.
So you consider yourself more like agnostic then, or are you still religious or?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah,
Okay.
because like I wouldn't consider myself like an atheist, but I think there might be something.
Okay. So you believe that there's a possibility of higher power?
Well, how I see it is, I believe in aliens because like there's so much different life forms on this earth.
Sure.
But then I would think like there has to be multiple, like there's 3 dimensions, right? And then they say the 4th dimension's time. There's most likely more dimensions than that.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're talking about dimensions in terms of like multiple possibilities, it's infinite. I think in terms of like the 4D, I think they've come up with 12. I don't have them all here to look it up.
I think it might be like with string theory. I think it's like 21.
Oh, damn.
But there are different string theory theorists.
Yeah.
But what I think about like God or a high power is
Sure.
it's probably just an alien, you know.
Okay.
That can perceive more dimensions than we can. And to us, it's like, it's so crazy, like this person coming from the sky or doing these things, but to them, it's just normal. Like,
so not. Do you think they're like an immoral being, or you think they're just like us, like they're just like it'd be like if we visited a planet essentially and had all that technology.
Another good question. You're keeping them rolling.
This is what we do here. I got to keep it entertained somehow, you know. No, I'm kidding.
With the technology we have now and like AI and advancements and stuff like that, it could be something like us or similar to us. But I think I wouldn't say like a mortal being, but just a being like beyond like the grasp that we could think about, you know, like
sure. So what do you think about the theory that like we were planted here by aliens? Like you know, like Stonehenge and shit like that. Like there are people that believe that aliens came to this planet and populated it with us, and then left, and they've been like, you know, surveilling us and spying on us ever since.
I fuck
what do you think
with
about that? You think that
that's kind of what I'm saying essentially.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe that, but
what do you believe?
I mean, I believe that there are aliens for sure. I wouldn't associate them with like a higher power. I mean, I think that it's possible that they visited Earth, but it sounds old school, but like with how time travel works and everything and gravity and all that, and like how long and how much power it would take to travel that far, I just don't really find it possible. Really that possible that they visit us. Or probable, I should say. It is possible, not probable. When it comes to religion, I'm an atheist. So, you know, I don't believe in any afterlife or higher power. Essentially, we're made up of cells, and through evolution, we've come to this point, and this is our life. This is it. And then when we die, we die, and lights shut off. You know.
See, I do believe in science also.
Well, that's good.
The shit makes sense. You know, the science, it all makes sense. But then I'm also like, you never know, you know, because there's like, there's shit that doesn't make sense even in science, you know.
Oh, sure,
like that they can't explain.
But I think that's the difference between science and religion. Is religion claims to have all the answers, but science is willing to acknowledge, well, actual science. Maybe not like government run science, but like the what science is supposed to be is like acknowledging that there's a possibility that you're wrong, and like constantly testing and proving theories, and like, you know, every year, every however often being like, hey, is this still applicable, and constantly questioning things.
So I guess I'm an atheist. I had the definitions wrong all along.
We did it once in the podcast, like, because I had an argument with a fellow like agnostic atheist in the definition. Like, like the definition does state that like atheism is like an acknowledgement of, you know, maybe not understanding everything. Because I think that's the flaw of religion. It's like you have the Christians who like have the Bible, and they have like, even if the answers make no sense, they have like an answer for everything, like preordained. You know, it's been carried down. They just know what to say. Where science, you're like it just, I don't know. To someone like me, it seems like a better like thing overall. Like you're constantly questioning it. You're constantly, trying to find what is best for everyone. I think that's just a better. Now, I mean, there is the obvious problem where, like, I think atheism has become like really politically radicalized. Like that's my criticism of like the modern state of it. Is like you go to any atheist social media group or like prominent atheist institution, it's like steep in politics, and like it's kind of like atheism is supposed to mean the lack of theism, and then they become a theism in a sense when they like get too far into it. So it's an interesting human problem.
See, because I always thought atheism was fucking. They just don't. Their religion is basically every religion is fake. But I thought that was a religion in itself. Where I thought agnostic was like, kind of like you believe like the science all makes sense, but there still could be something.
Sure. I think it's just a byproduct of like, human advancement in general. Like you could really say the same thing for Christianity. Like at one point, Christianity was just like love your neighbor, and like as an atheist, I think it's a great message. Love your neighbor. That's fucking awesome. I wish everyone would do that. But that's really far removed from what Christianity is today. So like eventually, I mean, it's just it's how we are as humans. Eventually things cycle and go through, they rise, they fall, and they rise and fall, and they rise and fall. And we are in a fast downhill in terms of humanity, my friend. Let me tell you. We are.
I'm not trying to interview you, but why do you say that?
Yeah, I mean, you don't think things are going to shit right now? Like the economy and like, the craziness from Roe V. Wade and political shit. Biden's our president. I mean, there's plenty of things that are just going fucking nuts right now, man.
I'm not a Biden fan. I'm not a Trump fan either.
Yeah.
Also, just with the Roe v. Wade, how I see it is like that shit affects women and dudes.
Yeah, it affects everybody. Yeah,
because
sure.
Because like I see, I don't know. Like I don't want to say I'm pro-choice because I believe at a certain point that is a child you're killing, but at the same time it's like there's all these kids in foster care that don't have any families,
Yeah.
And then also like once the kid is a kid, there's nobody. If nobody wants to support it, like now the government's just like okay, they're in foster care, but
yeah, no, I agree that like the foster care system is a really, and that's a fair criticism of people that are very pro-life, is like that they're not. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. That they like don't think about that, like when it comes to me personally, I really hate the binary of pro-life, pro-choice, because I think really it's like
not black and white like that.
Exactly. I think very few people.
What's that one book? There's like 50 Shades of Grey. It's not
There's
black
50
and white.
Shades of Roe v. Wade. Yeah.
Right.
Or was it 50? Isn't it 52 weeks? Or how? No. How many weeks is a baby? Is it 38?
I think it
38, 40, 40 Shades of Grey. 40 weeks of Grey. 40 weeks of Grey.
40 weeks of Roe v. Wade.
Have you ever paid for an abortion?
So with the economy...
Sorry, did I cross the line of what we talked about earlier?
With the economy, I feel like...
Sorry.
With the economy, I feel like it's not
No, but I mean, getting back to that, like, I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, I think, like, yes, people should have the right. Like, yes, like, so at the end of the day, yes, I do consider myself pro-choice. Because because I mean, I do think that like that's not power that the state should have. I think that's an individual right. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of why like I really don't have an opinion when it comes to Roe v. Wade being dropped. Honestly, I think it was kind of a shitty law to begin with, and like there's going to be states that are going to go down the hard line, and we've already seen that. But I think you're also going to see the inverse of that. You're going to see New York and states like New York and California. They're going to lift the ban. They're you could potentially see like things that they've proposed before, like I can't think of the fucking term, where like they abort the baby after like as it's coming out of the womb.
What? As it's being born?
Yeah, have you never heard of that? I'm retarded. I can't think of the term right now. But like they have videos of that. Like the baby would be coming out and then they stab it with a syringe in the head and like kill the baby, and then like they take the baby, like the body parts apart and stuff.
What am I hearing right now?
this shit like happens, man.
For real?
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing is like these states you'll probably see the what was it? I think it was like 3 months or something. Mm-hmm. I think that was the original. Like you're gonna see that get pushed up to like 6-9 months.
I thought it was like fucking like 4 or 5 months you could do it.
I'm not really sure. I think it was around. I know it's before 6 months. That was what the original standard was. I mean, it's kind of interesting though because you at least haven't really seen any headlines about that playing out in other states. So I'm curious to see if like, because there's all this rage about it right now, like on all these states that are doing this, but really because like a lot of the people who are upset like live in states where they can still get an abortion. So it's gonna be curious to see if like they continue to get that upset about it, or if they're just gonna be like, well, but like here it's fine,
But in like Iowa, isn't it not anymore? Or?
So I'm not up to date on this. Last I heard, Kim Reynolds was trying to do, Jesus Christ, what Texas is doing or has done, which is 6 weeks. I think that was Kim Reynolds' proposal, which is surprising because I thought her being a woman, she would have like a more nuanced take on it, but.
Well, I don't know if you've seen, but with women, it's actually pretty split.
Mm. Yeah, you actually find a hair more pro-life, women majority than it's surprising, like not surprisingly, but it's a lot of men who are on the pro-choice side. You find,
and I'm not trying to get into like a racial conversation, but I also see like white lives are declining.
That's what we specialize here. I have a segment every week where we. No, I'm kidding. What were you saying?
I see like white lives are declining, and
yeah. White people are plummeting right now. Like we're getting outbred by everybody.
By like 2050, white people are supposed to be like the minority.
Yep.
But it's like, I mean, all these other people are having sex too. So it's like, it's not just white people having sex.
Really? I thought that was part of my white privilege. I thought we were the only people who had sex. Have I been lied to this whole fucking time?
I've been having some pretty good sex
God
recently.
Fucking damn it! That was the last thing I was happy about, being white, motherfucker. No, I'm kidding.
So I'm not trying to like leap back here, but I was thinking and I also seen that comment.
Oh my god, we need to put this away right now. I'm sorry. The last fucking episode we did, there was literally a point halfway in the episode where they started reading the comments, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. This is not a stream. Molly, we fucking need you to take Wednesday nights off.
It glanced my eyes.
Sorry, what were you saying?
What are your thoughts about time travel, going back to the alien topic? Because
do I think it's possible? This is exactly why we don't have the comments open. Motherfucker, whoever that fucker was, totally derailed the conversation.
I was already thinking about that. I was thinking about that, but then that just reminded me. Like I was in a different place for a while, and then I was like, oh yeah.
Do I think time travel is possible? No, and I'll tell you why. Because we would know about it. Because if it was possible at one point in the timeline that is the infinity of mankind,
yep,
someone at some point upon discovering that technology would have come back at some point in history. Because it would, like, if you find it in whatever, like 2070, there's no reason why you wouldn't go back to any point in that. And I know what you're gonna say, like the ancient stuff, like, you know, some of that, sure. But we would, like, it would be a regular thing. Like, it would be integrated into our, like, modern civilization. Like, why wouldn't it be? Like, if it's available at one point, why would it be available all the time?
But with the paradoxes, do you not think that would eliminate that? Like, if someone goes back in time and they mess with something, and then they come back, and then like fuck some shit up, it almost would be like they never went back in time because that wasn't a part of their life ever. So now it's like,
I mean, could that happen? Could that happen? Sure, but there are too many variables to say that like every instance of time travel that's been the case, that there's been a paradox. So I feel like at some point we would know.
Dang, now I feel like an interviewer, but I have to ask
you. Go
so
for it, man. Hey, this is a free for all, man. You got questions you can ask me.
So, have you seen like the Marvel stuff?
No, I don't watch that. I don't watch movies for children. Sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. People get fucking. Right, guys, I can't stand
the pod's over.
I cannot stand. Speaking of movies, though, I love your shirt. I gotta say that's like one of my top.
It's funny because I've never seen this movie in my life.
Dude, get the fuck out of here! What the fuck are you doing?
I've never seen this movie in my life.
Guys, the podcast is over. God damn it, dude! What the fuck? You're like the stupid white bitch who fucking is wearing the Nirvana shirt and they play her Nirvana and they're like, oh, I don't know who the fuck this is. You're that motherfucker right now.
Actually, I just seen that new Batman movie.
I saw the trailer, but I didn't see the whole. I got the shirt. I was like, all right, I'll see what it's about.
No, because I'm into like movie theories. So like I know about the movie and like the plot and everything. Well, for like what I remember, and like I was just like, oh, it's pretty cool. You know, Samuel John Travolta.
Yeah,
cool ass dudes.
Yeah,
but no, actors. Talking about Nirvana, I actually just started listening to them. Also,
great band.
When that Batman movie came out.
Yeah.
That's what kickstarted. In the way.
What'd you think about that movie? Did you like it,
bro? So I actually love the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But this Batman movie is like probably the best superhero movie I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know about that, but it's
the best superhero movie that ever came out.
Better than the Nolans.
100 times better.
How old are you?
22.
Okay, you are. So I'm 27. Well, 26. Not that much of a difference, I guess.
I
but like
watching those, but you know, I wasn't like my brain wasn't as developed. It's still not developed now. Like I'm a jackass.
Yeah.
Pretty slow. You know, I got a lot to learn. I don't know everything.
Well, at least
I'm
you
fucking
said
stupid. But you know, one of these days I'll get there. You know, where I know a little bit more. But it's like I don't mind admitting it. I'm pretty dumb.
Start a podcast and you'll grow half a brain cell every episode. You'll learn at least half a thing. Yeah, no, I think that's like I think that's just a bias of like when you're born. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to the Batman, like there's old fuckers who love Keaton. You know, I think the Batman with Nicholson and Keaton is a great fucking movie, but it's not the best.
Well, I really fucking like the Ben Affleck Batman. All the he got way too much fucking slack. It was more. I feel like it was really pretty comic book accurate. Cause like in the comic book, Batman he's supposed to be human, but he's doing this crazy ass shit. And then in the Ben Affleck one, like where he's just like basically flying around the room, and it's impossible for him to do. That was comic book accurate. It was pretty much
okay,
fun.
So to be fair, I've never seen any of his Batman movies because I've heard they are all garbage. So like, why would I waste my time?
Well, I mean, he never really got his own solo film though. He got the Batman. It was Batman v Superman. That was really just a Superman film.
There wasn't another one he was in.
Justice League, and then
that was it.
I'm pretty sure that might be it actually, and I think he made like a small cameo in something else, but he never got his own. He was supposed to get a trilogy,
Yeah.
But then the whole DC EU or like the DC cinematic universe, it was just so trash. People were just like, okay, and now they're trying to revamp it now. Like, but that's why this new Batman, when I see it, I was like, whoa, okay, whoever the fuck you hired for that, hire them to make these next films because they know what the fuck they're doing.
It was a really good movie. I went and saw it in theaters.
I seen it 4 times.
You seen it 4 times already?
I seen it 3 times in theaters and 1 time bootleg. You know, you got to look at the bootleg first to find out if you really want to watch it. Like, do I really want to give them my money? I seen the bootleg and I was like, goddamn, I need to go to theaters right now. I need to fucking go to theaters right now. This bootleg was amazing. Even with the heads and everything, I was still tuned in the whole time.
Goddamn, dude. I don't know. I thought it was long. I thought it was too fucking long. It was like a 3-hour movie, man. Like halfway through, I'm like, Jesus Christ. But it was cool as fuck. I mean, it was still, it managed to like intrigue you through the whole 3 hours, which is a sign of a successful.
There were clues everywhere. Mm-hmm. Easter eggs. Great fun.
Well, and like it was a different blend for Batman. Like it was more like the movie really reminded me of Seven. Have you ever seen Seven? Mm-mm. Oh, such fun. If you like Batman, you would love Seven.
Does it got Michael Keaton?
No, it has Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and it's like they're like detectives, and Kevin Spacey's in it too. And it's basically just like a regular, like there's a serial killer and they have to find it, but like super well done. Do you ever see Fight Club?
With
Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. God damn it, dude.
No.
You're wearing the Pulp Fiction shirt too. That's what pisses me off, man.
For a second, I was like, I felt I might have seen Fight Club when I was like a 6 or something, but that doesn't have Patrick Swayze.
You saw
in
that
it.
at 6?
Look, I should not have been fucking watching that. But I feel like it's the only time I've seen it. Like, I know of the movie. I haven't even.
That was a bad babysitter. They were like, all right, hey, here's Fight Club, man.
I haven't seen any theories, but that doesn't have Patrick Swayze in it.
Oh no.
Or the dude from Die Hard.
It has a Meatloaf in it. Fight Club.
Meatloaf. Mm-hmm. Or the dude from Die Hard. What's his name?
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, is Bruce Willis is in that?
Which movie?
In Fight Club?
No, he's not in Fight Club. He's in Pulp Fiction though.
I was gonna say how, but I've never seen it. I can't question that.
Dude,
you could tell me Batman was in Pulp Fiction and I'd probably believe it.
Dude, if you don't go home tonight and watch Pulp Fiction, I'm deleting this episode.
It's gone. Just like that. No more Loco Buki.
I do appreciate that you have like a simple name though. I have so many motherfuckers that come in here and they have like 5 symbols in their fucking name. Like, how the fuck do you say this?
Are we speaking English anymore? But I mean, even with my name, some people say Loco Buki.
Oh, I can see how they do that.
But I mean, I get it. The spelling, it's not. I guess like people would expect me to spell it Bookie or something like that.
You ever have your name mispronounced performing?
Yes. Just one time I got called Loco Bushi. I don't know. I don't know where. Like, I don't know how that got. I don't know, but just one time, yeah.
I'm John Belushi's long lost. Loco Bushi. So I loved your work on Rarity. Mm-hmm. I thought you guys put out some really good stuff. But what like you have a very distinct style. Like throughout that whole album, you can tell like, oh, there's Loco. What kind of like inspiration what made you what inspired you to like have that kind of sound, or like what are some of the artists that like inspired you with that?
Oh, God, where's my phone at? So when I was little, I used to listen to a lot of singing, like R&B, But I can't sing for nothing. At least I don't think I can. People told me I can, but I don't think I can. So I would say my first original inspiration, besides like, I wouldn't even consider Lil Pump an inspiration. I was just like, okay, anybody can make music.
Sure,
like,
sure,
I can
sure.
make music.
But like the SoundCloud rap scene was kind of like where you, would you say, is that where?
I would say Lil Uzi.
Okay.
Oh, actually, the first person I really started listening to that I kind of tried to mimic was Young Thug. So heavily inspired by Young Thug. The Weeknd also. Lil Uzi, Travis Scott, Trippie Redd, Playboi Carti, Drake. I listened to a lot of Drake growing up. Kanye also. Listen to a whole lot of Kanye. Usher, Chris Brown. Like
quite a lineup the last couple.
It might not seem like it, but it's like
Drake, Kanye.
Just combine
Drake, Kanye, and Chris Brown.
Combine all these people into one, and there's like, I'm pulling a little bit from everybody. Like,
yeah.
For inspiration, at least, most definitely.
Yeah. What do you think about like the whole like Drake? Have you heard of like the Drake accusations of like the Stranger Things actress? Have you heard anything about that?
I forgot her name, but yeah, I did hear about that, and I like Drake.
Yeah.
But maybe this nigga was grooming. I don't know why he was talking to like 13 or 14 at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, they have old videos of him like grinding with like high school chicks at his concerts and shit. Like, I don't know. Here's a better question.
But did he know though? And if you're at his concert, does he have to ask? But then should he ask? He's on stage. There's 100,000 people. I'm not saying it's right. Hey, chill, relax.
This is the clip right here. This is the first one.
I never said it was okay, Drake. I never said that.
That should be, well, if that's the case, he should implement like a system. He should be like, hey, like the 18, if you're over 18, you gotta get a special grinding star.
Right.
Hey, do you want to get grinded on by Drake? Here's a better question. Can you separate the art from the artist?
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. Most definitely. I mean, how I see it is never meet your inspiration because they're never who you think they are. It's always going to be disappointment. Every time it's going to be disappointment. Just enjoy what you enjoy about what they're doing, but you don't really have to enjoy the person themselves. That's how I see it. I'm like, I don't think I'd ever want to meet Drake or hang out with Drake. But the music is popping. Or Kanye.
Yeah, dude, that would be awful.
He might yell at me. He might scream at me. Because I fucked something up that I didn't think I fucked up.
Kanye would like show you his beat. He'd be like, yo, listen to this beat I made. And he'd be like jamming. I'd be like, yeah, this shit's fucking fire. Let's listen to it again. It would just be like the next hour.
That's how I be feeling like Kanye, because I'm conceited as fuck. I don't mind admitting to it. But when I'm listening to my shit, I'm like, this is hot. This the best shit out there. And I might send it to like 5 of the homies. They be like, bro, this is not it. I'm like, yeah, y'all niggas is tripping for real, because this is it. This is hot. This is the next wave. Y'all don't know nothing? You don't got the answer, Sway?
That shit was classic. Oh my god. I hope I have that moment in the podcast someday. It's just like, I feel like I have before. I feel like I've had the people who like, no, Sway. Fuck. They did a. Have you heard the new Ken Lamar album?
I haven't.
Fuck, dude.
I heard.
You're so behind on everything. Get out of your fucking SoundCloud rap bubble and spread out, man.
The thing is, I kind of like Kendrick Lamar, but I'm not like I would, I go to music to like escape reality. Not to listen to hear more about what's going on.
Sure.
Like I want to go. I want to have like even like I feel like Lil Uzi, Travis Scott, Drake, Kanye. They do be talking about like real stuff. You know, that can if you actually like listen to the lyrics in depth. But for the most part, it's like you can just have fun to it. You can vibe. You can vibe to it.
Yeah. Well, and their music's kind of more, personal and relatable, whereas Kendrick is like talking about deep political, social issues. That like is not necessarily something that you want to listen to on a walk.
Right.
I'm a crazy fucker, so I like listening to it when I'm on a walk. I love like the first like hit off the album is called N95. And it's talking like the whole song's like take it off, and he's like, I believe anyways, and I think it's the consensus that he's like subliminally talking about like the masks, like take like for COVID and everything, So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of reason for someone who does not want to hear about that. I get that.
Like the Heart Part 5.
Oh, that was fucking great.
Really great visual, really great message. But I'm not pulling up on some hoes playing the Heart Part 5. I'm not about to go to the club and be on my way to the club listening to the Heart Part 5. I'm not. It's just not gonna get me in that zone. It's gonna start. I'm gonna be like, damn. I don't even want to go to the club.
See, and that's why I don't go to the club, because I'd be the motherfucker who'd be like, "Hey, play Heart Part 5 or play some John Coltrane." I lived in this small town in South Dakota. Right before my
Called what?
It was called Canton, South Dakota. It was a garbage shithole. Never ever go there. But like it was like a lot of people. It was like hoity toity Republican type like old farmer types. I remember I was there for 3 months, like the first month or something. I heard someone like say the N-word just like out loud at the bar, and I was like, what the fuck. It was one of those places. And, like I grew up in like small town Iowa, and like it was kind of weird, like the town I was in Iowa, there wasn't a lot of racism, but there was a lot of like religious oppression. And then like this town, it was like the inverse. It was like there wasn't really a lot of religious stuff, but there was a ton of like the racism, homophobic type of shit. But anyways, everybody liked country there and stuff. So I would like, they had a jukebox they could pay for. I would just turn on to like a 17-minute long jazz John Coltrane song, and people would like get pissed and they would leave. I'm just sitting in the corner drinking, just like laughing my ass off, just like terrorizing this fucking small town in South Dakota. Oh, it was good shit, man.
What got you here in Iowa?
I mean, I've grown up in Iowa, so I moved to Des Moines in like mid 2014. So I graduated high school like officially, and I left the next day for Des Moines. Never went back for my graduation because it was a shithole. Also, I mean, not really.
So technically, you didn't graduate.
I mean, I got the certificate.
I don't know if that dude in that suit didn't hand it to you. Do it even count? You gotta go back.
Yeah, I guess I'm uneducated, everybody. Even though I'm in college.
No, I'm calling. What's the college name? He didn't graduate.
But my father moved here because of his job. So he's now a judge. He was a county attorney, and then he transferred to like being basically just like he worked for like the attorney. I believe he worked for the attorney general's office. He like traveled around the state and dealt with like murder cases, like high really grisly type of stuff. And I think about 3-4 years ago he became a judge. So anyways, in 2014 we all relocated here for that. So but I'm glad I'm here. People shit on Iowa and Des Moines. I mean, Iowa, the rest of Iowa, yeah, shit on it all
Des
day.
Moines.
Dead, yeah, Dead Moines. That's actually one of the tracks on my album is called that.
Dead Moines.
Dead Moines, yeah. But you know, I believe it's like a true. There isn't really a lot of like influence. Like everyone pretty much kind of does their own thing. I feel like yeah, it has its fair share of problems, but like it is a growing, vibrant city. I think. You know, you know, you're part of the hip hop community. I think you've probably even seen over the last year like how much that's grown.
Yeah, in the last year, it definitely has. Oh,
you're good.
My bad. In the last year, I feel like it's definitely, maybe it's just because I'm really just becoming part of it, so I'm realizing that maybe I was just blind before. But in the past year, I feel like, especially due to like Gabe and Lolo.
Yeah,
and
consistency
even
on their part.
and Aaron from 93 and Alive, and then Gabe and Lolo would be like Iowa Hip Hop Showcase. They definitely have been like doing a lot for, I feel like, the local community, especially with the shows, putting new people on like other people's radar, you know.
Fuck yeah. No, I mean, I've had Lolo on the podcast since before that, and like seeing that whole thing grow. Like that last show, I don't know if you were at that last show that they did. I don't think you were. At least I didn't see it. But this last show they had, you could tell they upgraded. They have the draw, like the curtain, not the curtain, the divider type of thing. Then they had like a security and stuff like that. Like you can tell that they are, I mean, they've always been legitimate, but they're really like people
progressing.
They're progressing, they're gaining traction. Like it's becoming a really consistent thing. I think when people think of Iowa, they don't think of hip hop. So for them to be consistently doing this, and for the community in turn to be able to keep this alive, it's been really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be a part of a community. Before, I was really only, I'd say the only other local artist, like I knew like a decent amount of local artists, but the only one that I really click with and connect with, I feel like, is Ashy Meat. Really cool dude. He makes some really great music. And then after basically doing this showcase, which was only in November, like I haven't even been doing shows for a year. Like I kind of like I don't know if it's my stage presence or if people like the music or something, but like I've made like a lot of networking. It might even just be me, because I like to talk to people and meet up with people and like try to exceed the expectations I think they have of me. Because realistically, people might say they don't have expectations of you, but there's always an expectation. Like,
oh yeah,
like if someone like you automatically come up with like what you think about someone before you even get to know their name. You just look at them and you have those preconceived notions like, this guy's a cornball, you know?
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, wait, this guy's pretty fucking cool, you know? And then boop, now we're linking up, making music all the time, you know?
Fuck yeah.
It's great. That's why I really do appreciate Lolo and Gabe for getting me on like that first show in November. Since then, it's just been, I feel like I've just been really moving up, making a lot of connections with people.
Fuck yeah. No, it's really great what they do. I think they do a similar thing to what I try to do in the podcast, which is just give people a platform. I think that's a really good thing that you see growing out of a lot of these different, things that are coming out of the city. It's like, it really is about like, bringing each other up. Obviously they're the outliers, but like for the most part, it really does seem to be the vibe. I think that's good, for sure. What do you got coming in the mix for like upcoming releases or anything like that? Shows, etc.
So I was, excuse me, and again, August 26th. Next month, I have my first headline show.
Ooh.
Got a great lineup of some artists. I have Jazzy, J1s, Ashy Meat, Nemo, Cognac, Sorry Angel. All some really great performers that I feel like can, do some great things. But also, like, everyone's their own person, but I would say, like, can kind of have a similar style to mine. So it's like where the show's actually cohesive instead of going from one genre of hip-hop to another genre of hip-hop. Besides that, I also have a project coming out next month. I've actually been dropping, like, a project a month, like, once a month. Just because since I produce all my own music, record, mix, and master, I have tons of music.
Yeah, man. That was something I was meaning to ask you. Like what DAW do you use? Like what do you do when you're producing and shit?
I use Logic Pro X.
Okay.
Or I guess they took the X off, so now it's just Logic Pro.
Okay.
I started out on GarageBand on my iPhone, just making beat. I started out really on a drum pad, but then once I got an iPhone, I started making beats on GarageBand, and then once.
So you did on GarageBand? Oh, you started on GarageBand on your iPhone.
On my
Damn.
phone, recording, making the beat, and everything.
Damn, that's crazy.
I was using like the little Apple headphone. Like my first like decent song on SoundCloud, I think it had like 10,000 or like 12,000 plays.
Oh wow.
I recorded and produced all on my iPhone, and then I like filmed a video too on my iPhone as well. And the video only got like a couple thousand plays, but still, like I was like, okay, like I can actually keep doing this shit. You know, people are tuning in. That's what really got me like motivated. And then I used to like jailbreak iPhones or unlock iPhones and MacBooks. So someone just came to me one day with a MacBook, and they were like, "Hey, can you unlock this for me?" But I don't know if it was stolen or not. I'm not gonna lie. They're just like, "Can you unlock this for me?" They paid me, but they didn't have a charger for it, so it probably was stolen. But they didn't have a charger for it. So it's like I'm trying to unlock.
I like how you just admitted that. You're like, yeah. You're trying to make yourself look like a good guy. I'm like, yeah, it's probably stolen.
It probably was. Money, like, man. It was just, I was running a little business. Like I've always had like a little hustle going. Somehow I'm gonna make my money some way. No, most definitely. But they didn't have a charger for it. So while I'm trying to like do all my methods to get into it, to unlock it, it just died. And then they were like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I might trash it unless you want it." I was like, "Sure, I'll take it." So
yeah, that shit was definitely stolen. They were just like, you can have it. Like, what the
fuck? I don't want to believe that. And I was only like 14 also. Or like I was like 14, 15.
I gotta say, those people are fucking retarded. Like, they couldn't just go, like, they because they paid you to do that, right?
Well, I gave them the money back, and I was just like, okay.
They couldn't have, like, used that money to just go buy a charger?
Probably.
You know what I mean?
But, like a month later.
Come on, bro. You
I was
guys are
at a friend's house, and he had a charger. And I plugged it in, and it turned on. And I guess I actually did already unlock it, but it just had died in the process. So I'm like, oh, shit. I got a whole MacBook. I got a whole fucking MacBook. And it was like pretty new. It was like, I think it was only like 1 or 2 years old. Like, so it was pretty good and everything. At the time, before they switched over to like their M processors made by Apple, and it was still using Intel shit. It had an i7 in it with like 32 gigs of RAM. I'm like, yo, this is a fucking beast.
Damn.
And I had never had a computer before or anything. And it's like, since I was already using GarageBand on my phone, I just started looking up stuff on YouTube, and I found out I could just transfer it to the computer and do way more shit. So that's what really got me into starting to use Logic. Obviously, I don't like to admit this, but I cracked it. Found it on Pirate Bay. The source, rest in peace, Pirate. You're still there, but you're not the same.
I miss Pirate Bay.
You're still there, but you're not the same. It's I might think I'm downloading freaking a porn video, and now I got a virus. Like, come on, mate. Don't do me like that.
So let me ask you this, like, because I never, understood this. How do you jailbreak something?
Okay, so with Apple products, unlike Android, they're pretty tied down. Not really anymore, but they used to be extremely tied down.
Sure.
Tied down. And you couldn't, there was a lot of stuff that Android had that people wanted to do on iPhone, but just the quality of Android, like, since it's open source, it could easily be hacked. The Play Store, like where you download apps and stuff, they would allow, like, their policies for apps to get uploaded were extremely loose. So there was like literally you could download an app from the Play Store and then your phone's hacked. So it's like I always just liked iPhone way more. But there was stuff that you could do on Android that people wanted to do on their iPhone. So people would essentially hack into the software and find like a loophole, so then they could start installing their own like custom skins or changing how the settings work, or the home screen, the lock screen. And especially in like when you're in like middle school, like people want to change the look of their apps, or like want their like to put their apps anywhere, like shit that really doesn't fucking matter, but it's like it's just kind of cool. And then there are like usable features that like I'm in middle school I didn't care about, but they're like that other people actually made the jailbreak for.
Yeah.
Or like it's called like a kernel like in the CPU of the device. It's more of a hardware based hack. So if you find a kernel, then it could be jailbreak infinitely.
Oh, damn. So how'd you just found out about this like from the internet, just like Reddit or whatever?
Yeah, I was because I got my first iPhone in like 6th grade.
Yeah.
And my friend was showing me something on his Android phone. I never had a phone before. But I was like, dude, how the fuck do I do that? It was just like he would swipe between the apps, but all his apps, instead of just moving straight, they'd roll. I was like, dude, oh my fucking God, I need that. And so I just start Googling, like not to just randomly get on something else, but like,
you're fine.
Like old people, especially older people, it's like, they would always call me so smart. It's like, dude, I'm just on Google. What you literally just asked me, I typed into Google and there's 55 answers. And like now I'm just telling you what I found.
Oh yeah.
It was like basically I went on there, looked it up, seen how to jailbreak, realized I need a computer. I was like, all I could talk about was for like a month and a half. Like, damn, I need to do this. And then finally I went to my mom's house. She had a computer. And I was like, I did it. I was so happy. Like, and I was able to, my apps were rotating. They were twirling around the screen. I'm like, I'm that guy. And then I guess nobody else at the school had a computer, or either that or they just didn't know how to use Google. So I started showing people, and they're like, dude, can you do that for me? I was like, yeah, I got you. $50, $25, something. I'd come up with something when I was in middle school. And then, like, the word just spread, and that was kind of like a little business I had going for a while. And then eventually I learned how to do it on computers. And I was like, all right, bring me your laptop. I'm going to get you right.
Goddamn, dude. That's, because you said, I mean, that's not that much of a difference, you being 22, but, like, still. Like, I feel even though, like, I'm 26, close to 27, like, I feel like I've been called a boomer on this show.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
Like, I feel like there are things that, like, are over my head. And I even, like, did programming for, like, a year and a half in school. And, like, it took me, like, forever to get into that concept. So it amazes me, like, I feel like, your generation, people who are younger, like, they have, like, such a quick inkling with, like, stuff like that. Like, the fact that you had never had a phone, and then you just, like, had a phone, and you fucking did all that, like, like that. Like, that's crazy, man. I can't imagine doing that. Like, I had computer programs and I figured things out relatively quickly at that, but like to just to jailbreak something. Like I wasn't in an environment where like that wouldn't have been okay, me like jailbreaking something.
It just sounds fucking wrong.
Yeah, I would have been grounded for like
what are you
the
doing?
Next year. They wouldn't even understood it. They would just be like, jailbreak? What? You're breaking out of jail? You're grounded forever. No, I remember I tried to download LimeWire when that shit first came out, and I was like fucking filling out that, and I got caught with that, and my parents were pissed because they had read everything in the news, like people are using this to illegally download music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
well, I would always consider myself like a techie.
Yeah.
Even since I was little, because like with LimeWire, my mom actually showed me that.
That's a cool ass mom.
I'm in like 1st or 2nd grade burning CDs. I'm like, oh yeah, that new Usher just came out. I heard that in the car. It's like, psh, 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 download it. Then it's like a Soulja Boy track. Like, what? Or some random artist I never heard of. Like, why is this titled The Song I Wanted? Why is there a virus on my computer? That's not mine, but I'm calling mine.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was the true like wild west. You know what I mean? Like anything could happen. You could find a gold mine with that stuff, or you could have a ruined computer. One of those two things. I say we take a little quick break. Get some. I need to get another beer and regain the juices. Then we'll come back for a little bit. Guys, we're back with Loco Buki. Hanging out, all that shit.
You mean Loco Bushi?
Loco Bushi.
I know. Just
related to John Belushi. Bushi doesn't even make any sense. Bushi Belushi, close enough, right? He in order to stay disguised, he just took off the L. I don't know, man. So shit, man. What Trump 2024? You think it's gonna happen?
Kanye 2024.
You think Kanye is that? Did you vote for him last time?
I told my at the time girlfriend that I voted for Joe Biden, but I definitely voted for Kanye. I definitely did, and she made me feel. She was like, "You better not vote for Kanye." He was on the ballot. Can we went and voted together? I was like, "No, Joe Biden, about to be a great president." But I already was, I was already on the Sleepy Joe wave. Cause like I'm not a fan of Trump, but I'm not a fan of Joe Biden either. Yeah, but also kind of like the energy that Trump had, and was just there's always something to talk about.
Yeah. So back in 2016, I did vote for Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Didn't vote for him again, but when he was first running, and people forget the energy because so much has happened since 2016. But people forget the energy that was Donald Trump leading up to that thing. For people who were even kind of in that realm of where he was thinking, it was kind of exciting for someone to be like, you suck, everything, just laying it all out. There was something kind of exciting about that, mm-hmm. in a way. I think that's what attracted people like me and shit like that. But I think as he became president, it was clear that it's okay, this is who he is. And that, then you're kind of well, I remember I regarded it probably within the first week of him being president.
It's okay, this isn't just political banter.
Yeah. This is okay, this is Donald Trump. And he is the president of the United States right now. Yeah, man. But I don't know. So I'm a libertarian. I've had people from the Libertarian Party on the show, etc. So I voted for Joe Jorgensen this last election. Mm-hmm. So there's been a point where I do not care about the binary. There's this do you fuck with Bo Burnham at all?
I'm not very political.
No, Bo Burnham, he's a stand-up comedian type of guy.
Oh no,
I never heard of him. So he had this song called it was called Joe Biden. The whole song was basically you're making me vote for Joe Biden. And I think that was the mentality of a lot of people who vote for him. It was a party affiliation.
Well, I really want it. If anything, I was liking what Bernie Sanders had going on.
Yeah.
Or even Andrew Yang. I'm $1,000 a month.
Yeah, I think I don't agree with you, BI. But I do think Andrew Yang had a lot of good ideas. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been a way better candidate than anyone we saw this last election cycle. Yeah.
But again, I'm not too political. The most that I would hear is from listening to podcasts, really, So I don't really have my own opinion built, just really from what I heard. But I'm it's not all. Especially when you're just listening to people talk like me and you, it's not all completely accurate answers.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's still a discussion. I think that any person, despite their qualifications or knowledge, has a right to be able to talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, so
I wasn't sitting here looking up policies or anything. Really, just the main talking points about this.
Sure.
Give me $1,000, Andrew Yang. I don't know what it's going to do with inflation or anything, but,
Well, hey, I'll say this. If you're a fan of UBI, vote for Rick Stewart, Libertarian candidate. He wants to give everybody in Iowa $13,000.
Who?
Rick Stewart. He's the Libertarian candidate. If you're
in Iowa.
In Iowa, yeah. If you're going in to vote for governor or whatever office, look for that L. And if you vote for that L, Libertarian, Rick Stewart will give you $13,000.
And who's paying for this?
The government. Basically, our tax money. That's his idea.
Oh, so I'm paying for this.
See, I do not agree with UBI, but this is what I'm saying that if you like the idea of $1,000, that's a guy to.
So I'm paying for myself to get $1,000.
Essentially, see,
$13,000.
See, like I said, I do not agree with UBI or like any government.
Just cut back my taxes and we'll be all right.
See, and that's the thing. So everything with like what happened with the pandemic and like these stimulus checks, like the best stimulus check would have been no taxes that year. Hey, do we want to really help people out through these economic strifes with this thing going on? Like, you don't have to pay taxes this year. That would have helped tremendously. But I mean, they did this like fish, like just hook, line, sinker, just like, oh, here's a little bit and you're gonna pay 5 times the amount over over the course of your life. Yeah. Anyways, this is the McAllister Hours podcast, the political hours with
Loco Buki.
Loco Buki. We go off the rails, man. We do different little things here. Fuck, man. What are you like collaborating with other artists? You said you recorded Doozy. Like, is there any other people that you're working with in your line of like producing or recording people or anything like that?
I've recorded like MG Mosky, Hondro Bands. I'm pretty sure he's been on here.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Hondro Bands.
But just to like for collaboration wise, right now I've been talking to Vontae. I'm pretty sure he just goes by Vontae. That's like his rap name, but that's also his name.
I'm also familiar with him. Yeah.
Ashy Meat. I'm kind of really always working with Ashy Meat.
Yeah.
For like, essentially since I started music, just 'cause he make really good music. Even when I started, and I was like, okay. And he's also like extremely supportive. And then we like just started talking, like also just like as a actual like a friend. Freaking, there's so many. Drac Shakur, this nigga, Diego. That's like that's the same nigga. Recently I feel like I've been lacking on reaching out to people just because of things that were going on.
Sure.
And, yeah. But now that situation's over, I'm really trying to get back in tune to what I had going on.
Yeah. It's hard to frame your mind around like doing your thing when you got shit going on. Like for me personally, like I've had work has been blowing up and other personal stuff, and like that had an impact on the podcast. Me putting out clips, me putting out episodes. Like when you're in these beginning stages, I do like find that I feel like it's harder than someone who like gets a paycheck for it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you get paid for it, it's like that's work. But like if you're doing this plus another job plus all this other shit, like it impresses me the people who are like you, me, or like Lolo or Dirt Lord or anyone who's like consistently doing things despite what we do in our regular lives. So that's the grind, man, for sure.
Hell yeah. Like I really do like recording people and being an engineer just because of it's a pretty fun time, but also I get to network or I get to learn like an artist style or their recording process, and then I also get paid. But then also being an artist, like just myself and recording myself and editing everything, it's like a lot of work. Yeah. Which when I'm doing it for myself, I'm not getting paid. Like my music has made money, but I'm not living off my personal music.
Yeah. Well, I don't think very many people are. Like, to be honest, like even a lot of people we listed, like and there are people that have come through on the podcast, and I know that do that, but it is very, very hard. You have to be constantly ahead of the game, and it's less competitive, but it's also more competitive in a way because like the algorithm is so quick and so it changes all the time.
I'm trying to get my fucking TikTok growing.
Yeah, man. That's
really
the game
feel like
I've been
that's
into.
really where it's at.
It really is.
Right now, especially like I'm on Facebook so much. I feel like way too much random posts to really just local people, you know, or like friend groups. But I feel like really your friends are not really your supporters, you know, or like your fans. But it's like at the same time, since they are your friends, you kind of like want them to support you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like just sharing there constantly doesn't really do too much for you. So I've been trying to build up my TikTok, but I've been slacking lately just because some situations that were going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But now that that's like all tied up, I'm like, you know, I really got to actually just focus on getting my shit like continuous, like have a consistency, I mean, and like actually putting content out there. Because I'm not going to grow if I'm not even making content.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's the grind, you know. You have to constantly be doing it. Is there anything that like you found that's like worked for you on TikTok? Like anything that like does better? Like I mean, I guess I haven't even really seen your TikTok. Like, what kind of stuff do you do? Like music stuff or mix or?
I started out just making random, funny, quote unquote funny, because funny's kind of like subjective. You know?
Anything can
but
be
I was
funny,
trying to make funny TikToks. Wasn't really getting too much success from that, and then I just started making these like producer type memes where it's like, this is what happened in the studio or POV memes, but like in the studio, like POV, this happens with this artist, and then you know the sound kind of like ties everything together. Visual.
So do you you try to stay on the trends? Do you ride with all that?
Like with the sounds, but I try to keep it like with music. But I notice like sometimes it doesn't really help like anything, and then other videos will do good. It's pretty random. Like I'm not trying to be like one of those people that's like, you got to do this for the algorithm, blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like you see these pages where they are like following the systems that people say you have to do, and it's working. Was like, is it working because they're following an algorithm, or they're just making great content? And like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a self-doubt thing. Like, is my content subpar?
Yeah. I think that definitely plays a factor. I mean, I think ultimately people appreciate genuine people and genuine content overall. Like, I think, like even it might not be like as quick of a rise, but I think if you are geared towards that, like, it'll pay off eventually. Like I have never made like a trend video. I exclusively take clips from here and I put them on TikTok. And like I have about like 700 followers. Like I'm not like a crazy point or anything, but the rise has been like, quick, and like I think with anyone that has really made it, that's always been like the key thing, is like they're genuine to themselves. And then when you see people like become, disingenuous, even if they have like a quick rise from that, like you see the same thing, like eventually over time they just deteriorate.
I mean, I've tried to stay in, like, for TikTok at least, I've tried to stay in a music niche. Yeah. But I made a video about Robinhood, like the app for investing. Oh, and this is before all like the little Robinhood stuff happened. Like with, what was it?
Like GameStop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before that happened.
That was awesome.
But this was like a month before.
Not what Robinhood did, but the rest of it. That wasn't awesome.
This was like a month before, and I was just like, because I like do stocks, I was just opening a stock, like a free thing because I invited somebody, and I got like an Apple stock, and then the Robinhood shit happened, and then I got like, I think like 100,000 views and like 15,000 likes. And then like I also made another random video because I do landscaping, and I was on a lawnmower, and I just got off the lawnmower, and there's like someone's weave, like some woman's weave just on the ground. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I just kick it out the way, and it somehow got like 40,000 views and like like 10,000 likes. I was like, what? Why isn't the music doing this? So it's like I don't know if I should stay in a niche, but at the same time I like, you know, I'm not trying to just make random videos. But I feel like also with like what you said about just being genuine, like people connect with that, and it makes them like maybe like feel like more connected to you. So I don't know. I don't really have a TikTok method. I'm just trying.
So like when you're in that situation where like you're mowing and you see the weave and you just like like do you just like pull out your phone and record it? Like is it just like an impulse thing for you? Like I'm genuinely trying to understand.
It's more like do you use Snapchat?
I've been on Snapchat plenty, yeah.
You use Facebook or Instagram stories?
Sure.
But sometimes just to capture like a random moment.
So, okay, so what you're saying is like it's that same kind of thing, but it's just on a public platform.
But I'm just like, actually, let me TikTok this instead.
Okay.
And then other times I'll go in like I'm trying to make a TikTok, but it almost seems like when I'm just using it like it's like Snapchat, that's when it does better. But then when I like try to like I'm making a TikTok, then it doesn't really. I don't know if it's like the appeal or like the genuality or anything like that, but you know, like I've seen like when I just use like Snapchat, kind of, I get better views. Like I've only had 2 videos that I would say went like did good numbers or went like not even viral, but just like they got like 50,000-60,000 views. I think one of them got like 200,000 views.
Damn.
So I was like. And, like, if you go on my TikTok right now, I think I have, like, 50,000 likes. Like, you know how it shows a little.
Yeah. Are we comparing stats, bro? Is that what's happening?
No.
I'm kidding. Showing me up on my own podcast? Who the fuck you think you are? No, I'm kidding. I mean, and that is kind of like that's kind of a thing I have to deal with, like, being a podcaster, is I feel like that content's just naturally not going to do that well in, like, a environment that's like quick scrolls. You know what I mean? So it's like that's kind of the weird thing about podcasting. It's a niche,
but I think it can, because I see like on my
it depends on the clip, I guess, and the content.
Yeah, because on my timeline all the time there's like people talking just like this, but it might maybe be how they edit it or something.
Yeah, I think that's what I do with it.
I really don't know, but I'll be watching some stuff.
This is also a very non-conventional show. Like we talk about like 9/11 demolitions and like shit like that. So that might have a role in it too.
Well, do you use like Spreaker?
Spreaker, what is that?
So like get your podcast on like the Apple Podcast app or Spotify.
Oh yeah, I have a third party app that like I have like an RSS feed that like I put it's I think it's on everything pretty much. And YouTube obviously. That's what we're doing live right now. But yeah, man, the podcast game is interesting for sure. It's like it's a weird platform where it can put it can give you a big jump, but like at a base level it doesn't really do a lot. Like I haven't made really like any money doing this. Like a lot of this investment like both in the tech and like the look and everything, the logo, like that's all come out, out of pocket. Like there's relatively been very little that's come from profit. So it is really about like just putting shit out there.
Consistency.
Consistency, exactly. That's the key.
How'd you get the sponsors?
Those are I don't discuss. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. No, I mean
you don't have to.
No, they're personal friends. They've been on the show and they're they have up and coming. Not upcoming. They have their own companies that they have, and we've just come to agreement that it's kind of a back scratching kind of deal. Like we're because it's Iowa. It's Iowa. It's the Midwest. We're all still kind of coming up, and I think I'm a true believer that like the business relationship is what's key. I think I had a guy. I was at the Doozy Bash. I like talked to this guy outside for like an hour, and he was like trying to get me to like do this thing where I was like contracted with him forever, and then if it wasn't forever, it was like 10 years, but I had to pay him $50,000 at the end of the year. I'm like, what, to like have all of your guys on my show? Like, nah, man. He's like, you'll get views. I'm like, yeah, views don't make me money, bro. $50,000? What the fuck?
Can you not monetize on YouTube?
You have to get to a certain point.
Because I can monetize, but also I've been with YouTube partners since like 2006 or like 7 or like basically when they like first started. But it's just because I was making like since I had jailbroken my iPhone, I figured like there was ways you could screen record your phone. Yeah, so I would just be playing Minecraft, like doing like gameplay Minecraft on my phone. It might have actually been like 2009 or 10. I might be jumping too far back, but I've been partnered for a while, so I can like I only have I think like 237 subscribers, but it's and like I think like 10,000 views. So it's like now I technically couldn't get in the YouTube partner program. I don't even know how it works. I haven't even uploaded a video in like a year.
Yeah. So I think to get monetized, you have to have either 1,000 subscribers or some other condition has to apply.
Because I've had a Google AdSense account since I knew what a Google AdSense account was.
A Google what? Access account?
AdSense.
Oh, AdSense. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's a big problem I feel like with the podcast is like it's a lot of just me. So I got, I need to hire someone for like minimum wage to fucking come do this shit for me. No, not really. Fuck. We've been going for about an hour and a half. I think it's a good place to wrap up. Do you have anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap up here?
I don't like saying Powder by Loco Buki. Which one of these cameras is live? This one?
Oh, that's the live one. Yep.
Powder by Loco Buki or Powder, coming out real soon. I don't really have a day yet. I'm trying to get a video out. I'm gonna solidify right now. Next week, Powder's coming out. What's today?
6th of July.
Next week on Friday, Powder's coming out, and I'm getting a video. I just gotta lock it in because I've been the last like 2 weeks. Like I have so much music, but this is a song I'm hype about. Next week, Friday, dropping that. August 26th, the first headline show. Next week on July 16th, Iowa Hip Hop Showcase 1 year event is happening. I will definitely be there checking that out. I'll be there all night, listening to some great performances. But besides that, no, I don't have anything else.
Okay, I'll probably be at that. I'm guessing.
July 16th, next week on...
Wait, that's the 1 year anniversary, July 16th?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
God damn, it's right around the corner. Shit.
I believe it's a Friday, I want to say. It might actually be Saturday. But I'll definitely be there to support some great local talent. And also there's some people coming from out of state.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's tight.
It's about to be really cool. I know there's about to be Rare Doozy, Little Yo, Playboy Parade, some other great artists there. I just can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Fuck yeah, man. All right, well, shit. It's been a pleasure having you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Loco Bushi? No. Loco Buki. Guys, if you haven't yet, go subscribe to the Patreon. We're doing extra content there.
Go fucking subscribe.
Go fucking subscribe, you cunts. It's a fucking recession, bitch. Go pay the $1. Go pay the $4. Get the extra shit.
Right
I'm
now.
kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. Go subscribe to the Patreon.
Right.
Like, please do that. But I love you all. I love the people who tune in, watch all this. Stay tuned. We'll be here Saturday with Hood Melodies and someone else. So yeah, that'll be a good live show at 7 p.m. per usual. All right, everybody. Peace. Have
and
a good
a big thank you to McAllister Hour for having your boy Loco Buki on the show. Hopefully y'all see me again in a new form.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have you back on, man. We had a good convo. I'll definitely hit you up if we can make that happen.